Hello, my friends. It's me again, Edo4, with a brand new episode of Edo Self Talk. Of this being episode 6 for the year of 2026, the year of the horse. So, with that in mind, Shinen Hagemashite Omedetou Gozaimasu in Japanese of the year of the horse. And this is the way horse is spelled in Japanese. Just wanted to throw that out there. So, the sponsor that we have is my very own book of Who Am I For Real? Growing Up with Edo Part 1. That is available on Amazon. And also on that note, we have the audio version of the book on YouTube as well, with the links of everything down below. And also, before we begin, we have to play this sound that goes like, just in case there might be some topics that might be too extreme or something like that. And also, I got this too just in case I'm running out of breath or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So, this episode is called Think, of episode 6, aka 12 of Self Talk. So, the reason why we'll call this episode Think, it'll be coming up a little bit for the episode, but there's just like one announcement I gotta say just before we get to this. So, for this year is one of the social medias that I have is called Twitter, or X gonna give it to you in the Twitter. And the reason why I'm mentioning that is because after my birthday of April, where I'll be 29, and the 10th year that Twitter will be celebrating me as Edo my Lego, I'm going to be leaving Twitter. I've held on as much as I could with it. I really want to leave because there's not really much traction that was really going on, and not much engagement of the landscape of Twitter, or X going to give it to you in the Twitter. There's not really much going on for Twitter. But the good news is that I still have all the other social medias that you usually see for the link below. And once again, I won't really be leaving there until, I would say, either May or June of this year. But I mean, who knows? I might change my opinion if there is more traction that goes on for Twitter. But like I said, as of now, there isn't much going on, so that's why I'm going to be leaving it. But I do want to thank Twitter for at least keeping me there for at least as long as I could, and even with all the posts that I've made for not even, these episodes, but, everything, even before I did YouTube, for even this being my 8th year anniversary, that will be, of course, coming later. Again, I want to thank Twitter and the whole 9 yards, but, if there's not much traction or anything going by that point, I gotta go. And that's why I have put this message there. So now, let's, for the real main topic is for Think. The reason why I have called this episode this is because there is a lot going on this time around, especially from what was going on last year. And I just want to just tell you all, it's best to really just think of what you gotta do. It is really best to take your time the best way that you know how, because really taking your time and thinking, I think that is the best way of how to get stuff done. But if you do have different ways of how you finish up things while taking your time or anything of the sort, I would not only like to hear it, but I would like to know. Like, please share that for the comment down below. And even from what's been going on with me for a while, that's why I've been not only taking my time, but I've had to think more, even though it may seems like I'm coming up with stuff fast as possible. That is like one of the things I really do a lot of time is I think. And that's why this episode is called that. Within this episode, and it is best for just not even just this year, but going forward for, not just me, but to share with everyone, to take your time and once again think. So one of the things that we'll get to before we move on to the shoutouts is one of the other things I'm going to be sharing with you all as far as the socials and the whole 9 yards is also the playlist that I've had for last year of myself, the first season of the self-talk, the playlist of the podcast channel from last year, and even the playlist from the promo channel of last year. So now, before we leave, let's get on with the shout out. But before we get to that, we gotta get into the old school shout outs that goes to the artists Mary Ijima, Bajo, Sunny Delightful, All Kulture, the Other Mariah, Chris Lottus, Can We Knott, Michael Prewitt, Crescent Moon, Wolfie, Taz J, Troy Page, Tracina, SZ, Jonqua Thomas, Onix Blade, Vampiress to Die For, and the Angry IT Nerd, Witchy Amy, Dave the Viking, April Haynes, Merv, and also Ghost Claw Productions Radio. So now for the shoutouts for this episode, we got is Ella the VTuber, Feel the Mimic the VTuber, Elsewhere. This is not sponsored. I would like to be sponsored by them, but Pizzala from Japan, Pizza Company, The Green Screen Master, Aini, Paper Will, Awkwardly Animated, Pedria Hits, Zoom #1 fan along with the Zoom's fans of the 70s is included here too. OG Matt from that town, and an up and coming animator named Komono. So I hope you all enjoyed this special New Year's episode of 2026. I will do my best to try to come up with some newer ideas for the L self-talk. But also on that same notion, if you guys would like for me to have a topic to talk about for these episodes, I will gladly do that too. So, as usual, I hope you all enjoyed. Have a very happy new year with new projects and new everything coming soon later in the works. And I'm going to see y'all next time. Bye. And cue that theme song. It's time for Random Self-Talk. Wow, 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 wow. As usual, before we begin, is the sponsor for this episode is Yeti. Alright, that's a I guess we'll We passed for the New Year's. Oh man, I almost fell off the show. Okay. Hold on. Okay, this could be like a blooper. We could start. Okay. I think. Let me see. The camera. Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah. This is fine. All right. Cool. All right. That'll be the blooper. Okay. Here we go. All right. Before we begin this episode, as usual, is to just I call it think. Wait.